Today we're going to make these beautiful journaling cards. They are made out of watercolor paper as the base, and then old book pages and music page, and then some scraps and some embellishments that I had in my stash. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make these. They're super easy. What we're going to need to get started on our project are some watercolor cards. These are 4x6 that I got them at Michael's. It's the Artist Loft brand. I think they were really pretty cheap. You could also use regular cardstock if you wanted to, although this watercolor paper is going to hold up to the mediums that we're going to use a lot better. So to save time, I've already covered one card with some vintage music paper, one with some book page out of an old construction reference guide, and then we have some German font page on this one, book page on that one. So I just used glue stick to glue everything down. You can use glue stick, Mod Podge, whatever glue you prefer. I did let it dry overnight, although that's not necessary. You can use a heat gun or something like that to dry it a lot quicker. Then once it was dry, I covered each one with matte medium. This also came from Michael's. It is the golden brand, and it just dries to a matte finish and protects the paper from all the, again, the wet mediums that we're going to be using on here. It will protect the paper. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to start out with some tea dye, and I'm just going to put it on my little piece of tile here. And I'm going to put some water on it. Get that to bead up, and then we're going to dip our cards into there. Hope you can see that. Tea dye is fairly light. So I start with that. Use any color that you prefer. I'll put a little bit more on there. Let that drip around. And then let's get this one. Okay, and before we use the next color, we're going to dry these. Okay, that's the way these look once they're dry. See a little bit of a wet spot there. There's that one. And this one. All right, so we're going to go on with the next color, and I am going to use Vintage Photo. All right, go in again. Let those colors run around a little bit. Okay, these look good. Okay, those look great. So this color is Stormy Sky, and it looks really, really pretty with the brown ink. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, these are looking really, really good right now. I'm going to go ahead and add one more color because the embellishments that I'm going to use are in a sort of like a denim blue. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of a bluer ink on here, and I'm going to use Faded Jeans. And what's happening here is that blue is activating that brown ink and mixing it in and turning it a different color, but I'm okay with that. It's all pretty. And then let's dry this one more time. I'm just going to make sure all of that ink is dry. Now, I'm absolutely loving these. They might be a little harsh for some people, and if so, you can just take a little bit of gesso and then go over the places that are bothering you. I'm not going to do that because I love the way they turned out. Now I'm going to quickly ink around the edges. And it's really strange, but the ink is reacting differently with each of the different papers, which is awesome. All right, what I'm going to do next is go put some splatter on the background. My prototype, I used some white ink, and it just kind of faded into the background. I don't mind it. It looks good. But I think I'm going to go use a different color for these, and I'm going to go do that outside, and I'll be right back. Okay, I decided to go with a gold metallic watercolor, and I got these from Amazon. The brand name is Tinge, and it's premium metallic watercolors, and these are the colors that come in there. All right. I love the way these turned out. Now we're going to go ahead and put our embellishments on there. So these two are in portrait mode, and this one is in landscape. And I've already gone ahead and chose some pieces to go on there. Let's see, on this one, with that. This one I went with that. And then we have some tabs to use. So I am, when everything is all finished, going to sew around the edges. And I don't like this blue distress around the edges, so I'm probably going to go with something darker on that. So let's put these two aside and go ahead and get these pieces glued down. So this is another piece of that German font, old book page. And let's get that glued down. Actually, I think I'm going to distress this with something other than the blue to make it stand out more. And I'm going to use Scorched Timber. Yeah, I think that's going to be much better. I actually think I'm going to put a little piece of cheesecloth behind that circle just to make it pop a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go sew around all of the edges, and then we're going to come back and we'll put some eyelets in the tags and maybe some seam binding. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are all finished and stitched. And I left the back side of mine plain. You can put some lined paper on the back of it if you'd like. But I left mine just like they were. They're going to get a little messy, but I don't care about that either. These turned out kind of grungy and blingy and all kind of wonderfulness all combined together. So I absolutely love them. So let's go ahead and put eyelets up here in the tabs just to finish them off. All right, and then I've got some seam binding here that kind of coordinates with the colors. Okay, so I think that finishes them off very nicely. A little bit of grunge, a little bit of shininess, and I love it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. These were super easy to make. Like I said, I just put this on watercolor card. It comes in a pad. You just peel off what you need. And I did round the corners because I like that look a little bit better. And then use your scraps, or if you are coordinating with a journal that you're making, then you can use embellishments from that or make your own. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.